What's up, Internet? Welcome to Once Over. I'm Kaylee, and today we are going to be giving the once over to Bobcat Goldthwait's career.
Nice segue.
Bobcat Goldthwait is one of my absolute favorite directors. I actually just did a review of his directorial debut, Shakes the Clown, and I felt like I really couldn't delve into that movie without talking about his career as a whole. Bobcat started out as a comedian in the 1980s, and don't hate me, but I'm actually not a huge fan of his stand-up. I know. Also, he's on tour right now, so if he's actually coming near you, I highly recommend checking him out. And I know that I just said I'm not a huge fan of his stand-up, but I am a huge fan of his, so I will definitely be there. As a stand-up comedian, he had a goofy persona, a squeaky voice, and laughed at his own jokes, but his quirkiness helped him to really launch his career. He went on to acting. I think that probably his most notable role was in Police Academy 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Move it!
And he had some success in voice acting due to that uniqueness of his voice. Probably my favorite voice acting role of his was on Bob's Burgers.
Let's do this. Me and you. It's go time. Take my coat off. Fight me. Ow!
What I love most about Bobcat is how each one of his films takes elements from the previous film while simultaneously adding something new. You can literally see him improving as a director and a screenwriter through each movie that he makes. I won't be deep diving into any of the movies that I'm talking about today because in all honesty, I hope to review a bunch of them, but I hope that this inspires you to check out some of Bobcat's incredible screenwriting and directorial career if you haven't already. Like I mentioned, Bobcat's directorial debut was with Shakes the Clown in 1991. You can check out my full review for that up here and also linked down below after you're done with watching this video. And with that movie, he showed off his incredible ability to create an entire world with a society of clowns. It maintained the dark satire of his stand-up work while expanding upon his creativity into world building. After that, he directed but did not write, I think, Windy City Heat, which I actually haven't seen. It's on my list, I swear, but I know that it's very highly regarded. Bobcat returned to both writing and directing with his third movie, Sleeping Dogs Lie, which came out in 2006, 15 years after Shakes the Clown. It is about a girl who gives her dog a blowjob and then grapples with if she should reveal the act of bestiality to her boyfriend. Sleeping Dogs Lie built upon what Bobcat had already showed he was successful at. He tackled a complex topic in a comedic way. The movie really begs the question, how honest is too honest? World's Greatest Dad came next in 2009, and while it held on to some of the perverse nature of Sleeping Dogs Lie, it was really more of a dark comedy that tackled love, loss, and humankind's quest for infamy. This movie dives way deeper than Bobcat's previous films into the drama of comedy. The plot revolves around a failed writer who unintentionally and then intentionally uses his son's death to bolster his career. I don't want to talk too much about the ins and outs of how that happens because if you haven't seen this film, you really should just go in blind. What I will say is that in this movie, Bobcat breaks me down. I am emotionally destroyed every time that I watch it. For me, this movie really marks the shift in Bobcat's career from a somewhat unpolished director and writer to an ultra success. God Bless America came out in 2011, and this was where Bobcat moved more towards political satire. He maintained the darkly comedic baseline that was strewn throughout all of his previous movies, but added in topics like revenge. At this point in his career, he had already tackled alcoholism in Shakes the Clown, honesty in relationships in Sleeping Dogs Lie, suicide and the quest for greatness in World's Greatest Dad, and now in God Bless America, he jumped headfirst into the perils of pop culture. Each one of his films picks a difficult topic and confronts it head-on with a bit of edge and comedy. Bobcat made a pretty big shift with Willow Creek, which came out in 2013. Willow Creek was a found-footage, part documentary, part mockumentary horror film about a couple who are trying to find Bigfoot. It stars Bryce Johnson, who is also in Sleeping Dogs Lie, and Alexi Gilmore, who is also in World's Greatest Dad. As a side note, I love seeing the relationships that Bobcat builds with actors. Melinda Page Hamilton was in both Sleeping Dogs Lie and God Bless America, and Robin Williams was in Shakes the Clown and World's Greatest Dad. Anyway, back to Willow Creek. This was really the first time that Bobcat diverted from a sheer comedic satire into looking at a relationship between a believer and a non-believer, all within the lens of a horror film. This was a whole new level for Bobcat and something that I think he seamlessly transitioned into. The final film that I'm going to talk about today is Call Me Lucky, which came out in 2015. This isn't actually Bobcat's most recent film. Joyride came out in 2021, I think. But I think that Call Me Lucky is a really good place for me to end a video about the arc of his career. But boy, do I hope it's not actually the end of his career. Call Me Lucky is a documentary about Barry Crimmins. It's like Bobcat used the skills that he learned when filming Willow Creek to entirely lean into the documentary filmmaking realm. Call Me Lucky is by far the most serious and hardest to watch of Bobcat's filmography. The film follows the under-the-radar career and life of stand-up comic and activist Barry Crimmins. The movie starts out with other comedians expressing their admiration for Crimmins, but it takes a sharp turn when it begins to detail the evils of the abuse that he suffered as a child and how that inspired him to become an activist trying to get child pornography off the internet. In October of 2015, I was fortunate enough to see this screened as a part of the Syracuse International Film Festival, with both Bobcat and Crimmins speaking. They both tackled such a difficult topic with grace, quick wit, and dignity. Sadly, Barry Crimmins passed away in 2018. His wife posted about his death that both she and Bobcat were at his side when he passed. She added that she knew that Crimmins would want you to carry on the good fight and ended the post with the word peace. Bobcat helped Crimmins' legacy live on, and I know that they've both inspired many to carry on the good fight. Bobcat shifted from being a rough around the edges, dark comedy filmmaker to what I would almost call an auteur. His career has been filled with thoughtful wit, emotional topics, and satire. And I can't wait to see what he tackles next. I would love to hear about what your favorite Bobcat film is. What's your favorite movie that he directed? What's your favorite movie that he acted in? Do you have favorite voiceover work that he's done? Do you have a favorite stand-up comedy special that I should check out so maybe I start liking his stand-up a little bit more? Share with me everything that you love that he's done. I can't wait to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.